If you've been diagnosed with premature ovarian failure and you're worried that you might be perimenopausal, and more importantly, you want to reverse this so that you can be a mom, I want you to know that you're in the right place. I'm going to show you 5 things that you can be doing right now to be as fertile as you can be and improve your ovarian reserve. And this is my fair warning to you. If you don't do anything now to change and improve your ovarian reserve, it's not going to improve. So let's be proactive, and I want to show you how to do it. If you are serious about having a baby and you want to make change now, then I highly recommend that you click on the link in the description below this video to speak to a real member of my team to see how we can support you on your fertility journey. I want to jump in and start talking about the 5 things that you can start doing right now. But before I do that, I do want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this week's video, Thyroid Health. They produce a ton of wonderful supplements, one of which is called Cycle Boost. If you want more information on this and their other products, then just use the link in the description below. So the 5 things that you can be doing to improve your ovarian health right now, and I'm going to dive deeper into all of them in just a second, are number 1, mitochondrial health. That's right, supporting your mitochondria. Number 2, improving blood flow. Number 3, check out your DHEA. Number 4 is thyroid health. And number 5 is minimizing environmental toxins. Now let's jump in deeper into each one. Okay, so number 1, mitochondrial health. Now, you've probably heard me talk about mitochondrial health quite a bit, and I do on purpose because it's so important in every aspect of fertility. Everything from ovulation to fertilization to implantation to embryo health is generated by mitochondrial function in each cell, and this is super, super important. So what can you do right now to improve your mitochondrial function? I know that many of you are just thinking about supplements, but let's talk about a couple other things before we get into supplements. So number 1 is make sure that your blood sugar is regulated. That means it's stable as it can be. There's not too many peaks, there's not too many valleys. Across the day that it's pretty stable. Now, you may have heard of one of those devices that you wear on your arm that can check your blood sugar. Those are great, but probably only for those of you who really, really need it. Otherwise, I just want you to start to focus on your diet throughout the day, not skipping meals, making sure that you're eating regularly and balanced meals, that you have enough protein and fat with your carbohydrates, that all of that is functioning properly. A lot of us really don't do enough to focus on managing our blood sugar and our diet regularly in any given day. And that's probably one of the most important things that you can be doing, if not the most important thing that you can be doing. So you can't stray away from that. So the first part of supporting your mitochondrial function is regulating your blood sugar. The next thing that you need to be doing to regulate your mitochondrial function is regular exercise and good quality and good proper amount of sleep. I often talk about these together because I do find that exercise benefits your sleeping patterns and vice versa. So I do like to talk about those together. But if you're not exercising regularly, and it doesn't have to be crazy intense, but at least 30 to 45 minutes every day of a good, solid, brisk walk, then you should start doing that. And it's actually great to do that after a meal. And then sleep, making sure you're getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I prefer 8 if you can do it, and it's good quality sleep. So those things are essential also because that's how you support your blood sugar. Exercise, especially after you eat a big meal, by the way, helps to regulate your blood sugar, and sleep is where everything gets supported. So those 2 things are really important to regulating your blood sugar. And lastly, because all of you always ask for it, supplements. What supplements can you be taking to improve your mitochondrial function? Well, my 3 top ones, one of which, the first one you've probably already heard about, is CoQ10 or ubiquinol. At the top of the list of things to support fertility and mitochondrial function. Resveratrol also at the top of that list. And one of my favorites for so many reasons is NAC and acetylcysteine. So those are great things to make sure are already in your supplement regimen or to add back into it if you've stopped them. Okay, the second thing that we want to do to improve mitochondrial function is blood flow, blood circulation. That's right. If we can increase and improve blood circulation to your ovaries, then we can nourish those cells more and they get all the nutrients that they need. And that's super, super important. So blood flow to any key organ is essential. We're talking about fertility and reproduction. So in this case, we're going to talk about the ovaries. For you men, by the way, we're talking about increasing blood circulation to your testes. That's right. So what is the number one way that we can do that? Acupuncture. Acupuncture is by far my favorite way to increase and improve blood flow. That is the number one thing that acupuncture actually does. So you want to make sure you're seeing a good acupuncturist, one who specializes in fertility, and not just one who specializes in fertility, but one who is actually trained and certified in reproductive health. And my go-to place for that, if you need to find someone local, is aborm.org. That's right. That's my one resource for all of you when it comes to acupuncture. Number two on this list of increasing blood flow is low light level therapy. That's right. LLT. Some people might refer to as red light therapy, but that helps to increase blood flow and blood circulation, and in turn also helps, what are we talking about? Mitochondrial function. That's right, it does. Exercise, I talked about it in number one. I'm going to talk about it again because it helps with so many things, but exercise increases blood flow and blood circulation, which is what we want in this situation as well. And I'm not going to talk about a supplement necessarily that improves blood flow, but I'm going to talk about a food, beets, because of the nitric oxide. That's right. It absolutely can improve blood flow and is really essential for that as well. Number three on the list is Thyroid Health. I think maybe when I was talking my list earlier, I listed it as number 4, but regardless, Thyroid Health is next what I'm talking about. And Thyroid Health is so important for fertility. We talk about that all the time, or I should say, I talk about that with all of you all the time. And if you have hypothyroidism, you're probably going to or can be anovulatory, and this is no good for fertility because we need to make sure that you're ovulating properly. And proper thyroid health will allow for proper mitochondrial function. And that's also important because it allows for your body to function properly and put the proper resources going to the right areas. So number 3 is thyroid health. Number 4 is DHEA. Now, DHEA is a bit controversial, and you've probably heard me say I want you all to be careful with DHEA. Well, I do want you to be careful with DHEA, but I'm going to talk about why it's important. Before I do that, I do want to make sure that all of you understand, before you supplement with DHEA, I want you to get it tested. I want you to get your DHEA levels tested so you know where you're at, you understand if you need it, and how much you actually need. You might need some guidance for that. I typically recommend getting some professional guidance when it comes to that. Then you have a baseline so that when you retest, you can also refer back, see has it improved, how much, how quickly did it improve, and so forth. So DHEA is really important. And again, how do we recognize if we need it? Well, we recognize if we need it by having those labs done. And so that's really important and why I started there, okay? Also, DHEA can help to mature your eggs, which is also part of supporting mitochondrial function, and can slow the aging process of the eggs, again, by supporting mitochondrial function. DHEA is wonderful. It does decline as we age, which is one of the reasons we may need it. But again, you want to make sure that you get tested to know if you do. And last but not least, number 5 is minimizing your environmental toxin exposure. I've talked about this a lot recently, and I'm doing it on purpose because I want to hammer it into all of you how important it is to minimize your environmental toxins, what you're using at home to clean your house, what you're using on your body for personal care products, what you're using everywhere. You should start to question these things. These things can absolutely impact your fertility. I do see this quite often. We don't always recommend testing for environmental toxins, although that can be useful. But I think the most important thing that you can start to do now is to change your environment and to minimize your exposure. Those are the 2 key words: change and minimize. Do whatever you can on a regular basis to minimize your exposure, and start slowly if you need to, or quickly if you want to and you're persistent now to make that change, to start to make changes to the products that you're using so that you're not impacted by those chemicals, or you're impacted less. That is huge. I have other videos and other topics that go much further into this, but I do think for the sake of this video, I just want to remind you all that this impacts your mitochondrial function, impacts your fertility, in every aspect, and we need to make sure that we're on it. And this is not just a one-time thing, this is ongoing. So what did you think about these 5 tips? I want to hear from you. Comment below and let me know which of these 5 you connect with the most. And if you have questions about your fertility, I want you to leave those in the comment section as well, and I'll do the best I can to answer those. Look, this is really the tip of the iceberg. And if you want to dive deeper into your fertility and find the root cause to what's causing your fertility, then I want you to fill out the application to join my Hope Fertility Coaching Program by using the link in the description below. This is where you get to speak to a real person on my team to see how we can best support you. If you like this video, then I want you to give me a thumbs up. If you're not already a subscriber to my YouTube channel, then you need to be, so hit that bell to subscribe and get notified when I put out another video for all of you. Look, the next step to this whole process is really believing in yourself. And I want to help you start to believe in yourself. So for that, I want you to watch this video as well, so you can learn from her what she did on her fertility journey to give you a little bit of hope and belief on what you can accomplish on your fertility journey. And until the next video, stay fertile.